All right, so today I wanted to give you guys a lesson on how to do your parts of a story work. So you have a page that looks like this in your work for this week. And what you're going to do with it is you're going to pick a book that you like, or maybe one that you haven't even read before. And you're going to read through it, and then you're going to kind of pick out what the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story are. And when you're looking at that, you just don't want to pick something kind of random that was in each thing, but something that was really important in the beginning of your story, something that you think was really important in the middle, and something you think was really important at the end of your story. So to help you with that, I thought I would read to you guys Charlie and the Ranch Dog, Charlie's New Friend, by Ree Drummond and Diana DeGroat. So with that in mind, I'm going to get started with that. Bam! A bright light hits my face. I cover my eyes with my floppy ears. Oh, it's just the sun. Wait, what? The sun? Yesterday was cold and rainy. So was the day before. I didn't get any ranch work done. Today will be extra busy. Where's my bacon breakfast? I'd better find Mama. I spot Mama in the garden. The grass is warm on my paws. Flowers. Wait, is that a bird? Squirrel! I chase him up a tree. Wait, is that a rabbit? Chasing rabbits is the best. There's our rabbit. Mama doesn't see the rabbit hopping. She is digging up the carrots. But I know what Mr. Rabbit is up to. Roo! I howl and take a giant running leap. That rabbit is fast. He grabs a carrot and jumps right over my head. Oh, I don't think so, Mr. Rabbit. I'm the boss of this ranch. No one steals from Mama and gets away with it. The chase is on. Huff, huff, phew. My short legs weren't made for this. You can hop, but you can't hide. Huh? Where did Mr. Rabbit go? I think he went. Did Mr. Rabbit go down this hole? When will he come out? I guess I'll have to wait. The sun feels so warm on my fur. Maybe I'll lie down and rest just for 1 second. Ouch! Rabbit feet smack my back. He's a hopping machine. I'll never catch him. Who invented chasing rabbits anyway? Chasing rabbits is the worst. Why can't we just be friends? Oh, right. Because he's a carrot thief. Grrr, my stomach rumbles. I forgot to eat breakfast. This is all Mr. Rabbit's fault. I'm so hungry. Wait, hold on. I have an idea. No one is in the garden. I sniff until I find a ripe carrot, and I dig it up with my front paws. Yoo-hoo, Mr. Rabbit, are you home? No answer. I'll have to wait again. Nap time. Sniff, sniff. My nose wakes me up. Mr. Rabbit, he can't escape down his hole. I'm lying on top of it. He looks around everywhere and wiggles his pink nose. Mr. Rabbit is shaking all over. The carrot is in my mouth. I stand and smile my biggest smile so he won't be afraid. I take 1 step forward and zoom! Mr. Rabbit is gone in a flash, back down his rabbit hole. The next day I guard the garden. Mr. Rabbit stays away all morning. At noon I bring him a carrot for lunch. I don't wait this time. After a yummy bacon dinner, I head across the pasture, and there is no sign of the carrot. Mr. Rabbit pokes his head up. If you stop taking carrots without asking, I say, I will share them with you. Mr. Rabbit offers me a nibble of the carrot. Ugh, yuck. I am so happy to be a bacon-eating ranch dog instead of a carrot-eating rabbit. And there they are. So, what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to look at the title of my book, which is what the name of my book is. So, Charlie the Ranch Dog. And I'm going to write it up here. at the top of my page. So maybe Charlie the Ranch Dog. And then I'm going to put who it's by. So it's by Ree Drummond. And then I'm going to think, what's something that happened in the beginning of my story? Well, in the beginning of the story, the dog woke up. And then Charlie went to find breakfast. There wasn't any breakfast. So then he went to go find his mom. And he found her with the rabbit, who was stealing carrots. So I'm going to put down that in the beginning of my story, Charlie wakes up and goes looking for his mama. And then since it's the sun that woke him up, I'm going to draw my sun over here. Because that sun came through that really big window and woke him up. So, Charlie wakes up and goes looking for his mama. And then in the middle of the story, Charlie is chasing the rabbit because the rabbit stole a carrot. And that is kind of a really big part of our middle of our story, right? Because our story is all about Charlie and his rabbit that he eventually becomes friends with, but he wasn't at first. So Charlie chases a carrot-stealing rabbit. It's going to be what I write. And then I'm going to draw a rabbit over here. He's looking at the carrot. Got little paws and a fluffy tail. And he's looking at the carrot. And then what happens at the end of my story? I don't quite remember. I'm going to go back and look. Oh yeah, at the end of my story, the really big important thing is that Charlie and the rabbit are friends. So I'm going to write down for the end, Charlie and the rabbit become friends. But we never learn the rabbit's name. Charlie just calls him Mr. Rabbit. And I'm going to draw a picture of Charlie the dog and the rabbit, because now they're friends. And I'm going to maybe draw a heart down here, because they're happy and they like each other. And then what I'm going to do is the reason that we include certain events in the beginning, middle, and end of the story is because we're telling the story. And if we put those events out of order, it doesn't really make as much sense. And so that's why we write stories in a particular order, so that we can learn things as we go along. Because, for example, in Charlie and the Ranch Dog, if we didn't know that Charlie and the ranch and the rabbit didn't get along, it wouldn't really matter so much in the end if they're friends. We would just be like, oh, that's cool, a dog and a rabbit are friends. So what I'm going to have you guys do is you're going to cut out around your pager, and you're going to make sure you keep your title up at the top. And then you're going to cut in between where it says each part. And so now I've got my beginning with my title, my middle, and my end. Now if I mix up the order that we have those in, because in the beginning I had Charlie wakes up and goes looking for his mama. In the middle I originally had Charlie chases a carrot-stealing rabbit. And in the end I had Charlie and the rabbit becoming friends. I could switch up the order and put the middle, the end, the middle, and the beginning in the opposite order. And if I do that, it's going to read that Charlie and the rabbit become friends in the beginning. All right. And then Charlie chases a carrot stealing rabbit. Oh no. And then in the end, it will be Charlie wakes up and goes looking for his mama. That doesn't quite make sense as a whole story, does it? These two parts, maybe. Because maybe Charlie and the rabbit were friends, but then the rabbit stole the carrot, and then they would have an argument over it or something. But the end here doesn't really make sense that he would wake up and go to find his mama after these other two events. What if I flip those two? And then I could try and say, Charlie and the rabbit become friends. And then Charlie wakes up and goes looking for his mama, and then Charlie chases a carrot stealing rabbit. That could probably be a story, but it'd be a pretty different story than what actually happened in our book, huh? So what you guys are going to do is kind of play around with the order that you can put those in and see how and why maybe your story was written in that order for what wanted to be told. Because the story that we told here was not about two friends and then one of them stole a carrot. They weren't friends to start. And then Charlie chased the rabbit who had a carrot, and then in the end they became friends. It's a very different story if we read it that way. So, you guys can pick any book from your shelf. It can be a chapter book, it can be a picture book, it can be one that you've read 1,000 times before, or one maybe that you've never read if you want to try and read a new book for this assignment. And you guys are going to kind of do what I did, where you put an event from the beginning, the middle, and the end, and then you're going to kind of mix around the order and see what you find. And I'm excited to see what you get. Have fun!